from. CPAC is documentary. CPAC, real-time politics.
Hi, welcome to Beyond Politics. I'm Catherine Clark. NDP MP Rathika Sitsabaiesan was born in Sri Lanka and lived there until the age of 5 when she immigrated with her family to Canada to escape war that was quite literally on their doorstep. She was personally encouraged to run for politics by Jack Layton, and she has become Canada's first Tamil MP. Rathika Sitsabaiesan joins me now to talk all about her new life beyond politics. Rathika Sitsabaiesan, welcome to Beyond Politics. It's really great to have you here.
Thank you.
You have had an incredible past few months.
Absolutely.
There has been a lot that has happened in your world in the past year or so, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Did you plan any of it? I mean, did you have any sense that when you ran, was it a long planned process? Had you known for a while that you wanted to run, or was it?
Well, I knew that I was going to run at some point in my life.
You did,
but in December of 2009, I declared my candidacy and was nominated, and so the campaign process was about a year and a half.
So long.
Yeah, it was a year and a half campaign for me, and we were planning to win. When we launched my campaign, or when I declared my candidacy in 2009, we were planning a campaign to win. So that was that.
When you say you were planning a campaign to win, what do you mean? How would it be different from another campaign? Were your fortunes less? Was the sun shining less brightly on your fortunes in 2009 than they were as the election approached? Or
no. When I say planning a campaign to win, I mean that we were planning on running a high-resource campaign and beating an incumbent.
Right.
That was the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was quite the election, though, in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did you see it coming?
The win?
Mm-hmm.
We were planning to win.
No, but the country. Did you find, on the country level, you went from a campaign that was planning to win in one riding to official opposition?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I was focused on Scarborough-Rouge River the entire time, so I wasn't planning or figuring out what was happening or following the polls nationally. I was really focusing on my community and reaching out to as many people as I could in the community to ensure that they knew who I was and what I was up to. So I was focusing right on Scarborough-Rouge River. Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning. You were born in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
And you lived there until you were 5.
Mm-hmm.
But your dad moved to Canada before you guys moved over. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Before you moved over with your mom and your sisters.
Yes.
What was it like living there as a little girl and knowing your dad was somewhere else? Do you have memories of that?
I only have a few memories of being back home, and I didn't really know my father, actually. I had my grandfather there with us, or both of my grandparents, and my uncle used to come and visit a lot. And I don't think I knew the void because I didn't know. I just knew my mother and my sisters and my grandparents.
Sure.
And it was funny because when we got here to Canada, I found my father in the airport, and I was like, "Ma, look! It looks somebody who looks like Uncle."
Really?
And it was my father, and he came over and scooped me up because I was his baby girl, and I was like, "Oh, hi."
How interesting!
Yeah.
How long did it take?
I didn't really know him.
Did it take a while to? Do you remember if it took a while to adjust to having your dad back in your life? I
don't remember at all. I don't remember.
Do you know why your family emigrated?
Absolutely. The war, the Civil War. So 1983, the race riots took place in Sri Lanka where the Tamils were attacked, persecuted, and even Sinhala people who were Tamil sympathizers were attacked. Their houses were burnt, people were burnt, houses were looted, and basically told, if you support Tamil people, you're going to get killed or get taken to the camps as well. So that was why we moved. That's why my dad left right after I was born. He left right after the 83 riots. And came to find a safe place for us to live. And Canada was that safe place for us.
Why Canada? He would have had other options.
He actually went to Europe first. He was in France, and he ended up came to Quebec because the French aspect, but then ended up in Ontario in Mississauga.
Yeah.
I don't know. He chose it.
Yeah.
And it's a great place because I love this country, and it's the only country, I think, where an immigrant who, ran away from war would be able to have the story of moving from a child of war to a member of parliament in the National House of Representatives. So I'm absolutely glad he chose Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you arrived here, what are your memories of, besides seeing this man who looks like your uncle in the airport, but what were your initial memories, or are your initial memories of arriving in Canada?
I don't know if I have any real memories. I remember going through photos, and I think I've recreated memories, but I don't know if I actually have memories that where I can recollect on my own.
And how about English? Did you speak English when you arrived?
I didn't speak either English or Tamil actually when I got here. I spoke a little bit of both. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather only spoke to us in English,
right,
and my maternal grandparents only spoke to us in Tamil. But it was very rudimentary English or Tamil.
Yeah.
And so I came here and I started school, started grade 1 and went to ESL to get my English up to speed as well. Yeah. And
your sisters are all older then, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And did they talk to you about what it felt like for them when they first arrived here in this foreign land, and all of a sudden they're surrounded by these crazy white people talking strange languages to them that, although if they've been exposed to English,
they knew more English than I did.
You did.
Yeah. My oldest sister, I remember the story she told me when we was an apartment building that we lived in, my dad lived in, and when we pulled up to it, she's like, whoa, how am I going to sweep this whole house? She didn't realize it was one unit within the big building, but that's the one funny thing I remember from her telling me.
Right.
But I don't really have recollections of my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your dad was working in what field at that point? Was he working in industry?
He wasn't working by the time we got here because he had a workplace accident.
Right, and a pretty severe one, I understand.
Yeah. He has never been able to work again since then. He had a spinal injury.
Oh, what happened?
He was working in a door-making factory or door-making place, and it was this huge rotary machine, and he got thrown off of it. He went to fix it or something, got thrown off, and he had a spinal injury. How did that affect your family when you arrived here? Because was your dad the main... Your dad was the main breadwinner, the breadwinner. He was the person who was the financial and he wasn't working,
center. Right?
And so my mom, she signed up for a course to do, I think nursing or healthcare aid or something. Yeah. And after a couple of weeks of going to school, she's like, "What am I doing?
Yeah,
if I'm going to school, then who's taking care of the children?" So she decided to stop her classes and she went to work. And she became the main breadwinner in the family,
Yeah.
Because my father was on WCB at the time and couldn't work. It was relatively freshly after his surgery, and he couldn't work at all. What impact did his injury have on your family dynamic? I mean, how did he accept his injury, or did he accept his injury? And how did he had to accept it, right? Because it's reality. He ended up. The roles reversed in my family. My mom took on the traditional male role of being the breadwinner, and that my father was a great cook, so he would take care of food, feeding us, and it was good. He actually, sometimes I think he can cook better than my mom, but we won't say that on TV. But he stopped cooking after a while, and so my mom's the best cook in the world. Of course. Yeah. Of course. She fed the entire community. So. I'm sure, through the whole election. Actually, during the election, she came and lived in my apartment with me, and every day. She cooked every single person. You and your entire team, I'm sure. Yeah, we had hundreds of people come through that door that she fed. Don't doubt it for a second. All those hungry door knockers.
did your dad's injury have an impact on you in terms of your political sensibilities as well? I mean, was it something that awakened your sense of how government needs to help people or how communities need to come together? Did it have any impact like that, or did it just really affect your family's day-to-day?
I never thought of it that way, actually. It probably did. I just kept on going, went to school, was always active in community, and it's funny, when I started volunteering in grade 5, it was with seniors. It might have had an impact on me. I didn't actually think about it. We had a very different dynamic in our home than all my friends' homes, and it was just my reality, and that's the only way I knew it. So I didn't think of it as developing my early political life, I guess. But it probably actually did, because it is my parents, and seeing them and how they were, even though my father had his accident and couldn't work, he was always helping people in the community. Whether it was usually a lot of newcomers. Our house was always like a stopover for any newcomers who were coming into the country, because we were known as the people who would be supportive, and they'd come to us for advice on how to integrate into the community. We'd help them find apartments, whatever it was. My father was always helping people in the community and building community, and then my mom was always feeding them. So,
so you were a very popular house.
Yep, we were a very popular house.
What are the discussions around the dinner table? Would your parents encourage discussion between themselves and guests, or you and your sisters, to talk and think more about the world around you, or was it a more quiet atmosphere?
There's always talking happening, always chatter. And it was generally my sisters and I think we would kind of have our own conversation, and the adults had their own, but we were never far. So we were always included, but we had our own conversations usually. I don't have too many memories. It's probably because of the traumatic experience of war. I don't have a lot of childhood memories.
Interesting. Especially with such a stark experience of childhood.
I remember being shot at, and then the next day finding dead people around us outside the building. But that's like a very vivid memory that it feels like it was yesterday. But then I don't remember a lot of other stuff.
What had happened?
It was, the fighting was going on, and it was my mom, my sisters, and my grandfather. We were in my mom's tailoring shop. She, very brilliant woman, because it was her and the 4 girls, she built a little room, a little apartment in the back of her tailoring shop. She was a seamstress, and so that we could stay over if she needed us to. And we were there, and the shooting had started, and it was in the daytime. My grandfather, we were all in the back apartment, and my grandfather was pacing back and forth, and the door, the crack in the door, I guess there were soldiers or people outside who saw the movement, and my mom kept on telling him, sit down, sit down, sit down, and finally he sat down, and then bullets came through the crack in the door. And I remember it was like my grandfather was sitting right beside me, and the bullets were right by my foot. And then he stopped moving.
I guess.
And then the next day, when the shooting had stopped, we went outside, and there was like a dead, I call it soldier because it was somebody in uniform. I don't know, it was about 4 or 5-year-old, but it was like sprawled on my front steps. So I remember that vividly. I think I'm lucky that that's all I remember. And lately I've seen more footage of what happens and what had happened and what continues to happen in other places around the world with war, and I really do think I'm very lucky.
How did it shape your perception of the world around you as a little kid? Or was it just not something that you could really
I don't think it's
grapple with at that age?
Yeah, I don't think I even considered. I just kind of moved on, said, I'm in school, I'm going to do my best and learn English and be the best person I can be. And I think that's just how I carry my life even today is I'm focused, I'm going to learn how to be a member of Parliament, and I'm going to be the best member of Parliament I can be, and the best member of Parliament Scarborough-Rouge River has ever seen, that they're going to really realize the value of a member of Parliament and build community. I want for the community to come together and for my office to be the catalyst that facilitates that building of our community. So that's my goal right now.
Mm-hmm. You're really young, and I don't say that in any kind of way that is in any way derogatory. I just mean that you are really young. Mm-hmm. There are MPs younger than you.
Yeah.
Why decide on a career in politics at this stage in your life?
I had always thought that I would end up in politics. Probably when I was around 14. I figured, someday later, eventually I would. The party had approached me a couple of times before to run in the last 2 elections, and I felt that the timing wasn't right for me, and I said no, and I helped other people's campaigns. Like, I had helped on Ed Broadbent's campaign in Ottawa-Centre,
right.
And then in
because you were at Carleton here.
Yeah, I was at Carleton at the time, and then in 2008 I helped on many campaigns, even as serving as an interim campaign manager for one. Mm-hmm. It wasn't time for me. And
why not?
It just didn't feel like it was the right time. I was there to help other people, and it wasn't for me. It wasn't my turn in the limelight. Mm-hmm. It was my turn to help everybody, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, I had a conversation with Jack, and he was really encouraging me to run this time. And he was saying that how much he believed in me, and how important it was that right now for me to run as a young person, as a woman, as a racialized person, as a leader in the community who's already doing a lot of the work that an MP should be doing.
Right.
He said he really believed that this was the right time for me, mm-hmm. and really pushed me. And basically it was at an event, he pulled out his business card, wrote his personal cell phone number on it, and said, "Here, call me anytime, and I'm there for you." And he meant it. Mm. And I knew that I had the support from him, and it really meant a lot. And now, I'm very glad that I took his advice and his push, and that I actually ran and won with him.
See, I have to ask, so, Rathika, because you've taken his advice and his encouragement, mm-hmm. and you've put your name forward, and you've put yourself on the line, and you've gathered a team around you, and you've worked hard, and you've won, and you get here, and you're official opposition, and then the man who inspired you mm-hmm. dies.
Yeah.
And that leaves your party without a leader. You have an interim leader, but without the person who led them through this election.
Absolutely.
And who was the person that really inspired you mm-hmm. at this time to be involved. How do you, as a rookie MP, go into the House and make it work for you now?
Well, I think I'm lucky, or we're all lucky, that we had that first short session with him. We saw him in action with us. We were in action with him there as well. And that inspiration, that encouragement that he had for me, that is still there with me.
Okay.
I think his encouragement really empowered me, and I know that I can carry on the torch. The torch has been passed not only to me, but to all of the other MPs and to all Canadians. His dream was for everybody to take that ownership and to carry the torch. And of course his death affects me. His passing affects me. You just saw that. But his strength lives on in all of us, and my job is to carry on. My job is to be that strength. He was strong for all of us for so long, and it's now time for us to roll up our sleeves and just get strong and get going, because that is what would do him proud.
And it didn't at any point make you question, what have I done? Here I am.
Absolutely not.
And now I have no Jack.
No, absolutely not. if he was that type of a leader where we would have been dependent on him, then maybe. But he's someone who was always developing our skills and finding what my strengths were and allowing that myself to thrive using my strengths and leveraging my strengths. So I know that I can do this. We have a great team of veteran MPs who are with us. We have a fabulous team of staff who know what they're doing, who know the House of Commons, who know the Parliament inside out, and I've got a great support network to rely on, and I know that we're going to carry the work. We're going to get through it.
You are Canada's first Tamil MP.
Yes.
And I wonder what that means to you and to your family.
Being the first Member of Parliament of Tamil heritage is huge. I think it's big for myself and my family, but I think it's a bigger win for the community, the Tamil diaspora. Just after years of defeat, years of war, and then when in 2009 when the
mischaracterization, I think, is
when the war ended.
Yeah.
A lot of the diaspora felt a huge sense of defeat and loss, and I think my win really was a boost for the international diaspora, because people are like, you know what, we can do it. We can have success and positive success in wherever we are in the world. We've had other Tamil candidates run in other countries at national elections and come close but not win. So I think it's a big deal. It comes with responsibility as well, and expectations, very, very heightened expectations for myself. But I focus on my constituency. It also happens that I represent probably the largest density of Tamil diaspora in international. Like Canada's home to the largest community of Tamil diaspora, and Scarborough-Rouge River has probably the highest density of them. So technically, I represent the most Tamils. Sure. But I focus on my community, and when I say community, I mean the people of Scarborough-Rouge River, my neighbors, and I'm doing the best I know how. I'm learning as I go every day.
You gave the part of your maiden speech in the House.
Yes.
In Tamil, and
yes.
I was wondering what your conversation with your parents was like after your maiden speech.
They actually didn't know I was going to. Nobody knew.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrote it the night before.
Yeah.
And
were they watching at least?
They did watch.
Good.
They cried.
Yeah, I bet.
And it's not just my parents who cried.
Yeah.
It's parents everywhere, people around the world. It's that pride, it's the joy, it's the realization that, wow, we did something good. It's one baby step that I made, that we made together for me getting elected. It's not the be all and the end all. It's that we achieved something together. And Tamil being spoken in the House, I was excited, and I was humbled, but at the same time very excited that this is the first time that my mother tongue is being spoken in such a House. And it was absolutely exhilarating for me. And I know that for other Tamil enthusiasts or Tamils around the world, it really meant a lot as well.
You have put a lot of pressure on yourself. You've talked about being the best MP that your writing's ever seen, and you have an international diaspora of people watching out for your every move and being, thrilled and excited and disappointed and sad all along with you. Every emotion that you have, they will share. That's a big weight to carry on your shoulders. Do you ever feel that weight?
It's a lot, sure, when you put it all together, when you package it up like that. But I take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
One day at a time, 1 week at a time, and focus on what I can do to help build community.
Okay.
And that's it. That's my thing. break it down into small pieces and chip away at it.
And do you ever get the chance to do something that is not political?
Yes, I play with my babies.
Okay.
I have 4 nephews and a niece.
Oh, wow.
So they are the joy of my life. They keep me going.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And you dance. Do you still dance?
Yes, I do dance.
You do.
Last little bit, I haven't been able to.
I guess so.
But the last time I performed was for Jack's Canada Day celebration in Riverdale.
How?
Yeah, that's the last time I performed.
With your sisters or
no,
with
it was a solo performance I did.
Okay.
So it's a classical Indian dance form that I do, and I will get back into it.
Do you have to practice regularly?
Absolutely.
You do.
It's very, very demanding on your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So what else do you do besides playing with your nieces and nephews or dancing? Do you get any time to yourself where you just kind of chill out?
I do.
Don't tell me you watch the National every night and that's how you relax.
No, I actually don't own a TV.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't had a TV for years.
Yeah.
I do a lot of meditation and yoga, which helps with the inner self. And my friends who have been supportive of all the crazy things I do all throughout my life. So I try and take time to do a lot of one-on-one or small gatherings.
Yeah.
And just chill.
Yeah.
I try to do maybe once every 2 weeks. I'll take a evening or a half a day and just relax because I need that in order to
survive.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, a lot of on this show we often talk to MPs about how the travel and the displacement and where they live when they're in Ottawa versus when they're back home in the constituency. And before the show started, you told me something that I found really interesting, which is that you have an apartment here in Ottawa.
Yes.
But you got yourself the same bed and the same pillow as you have at home.
Yeah.
And I think that's brilliant. I think that's brilliant.
It just makes it feel like home. And that's the reason why I got an apartment instead of, I know some MPs stay in hotels, and I decided I wanted to get a place because I wanted to have a little piece of home here as well. And so at least my body will think it's in the same place every day.
At least when it's sleeping it will. When your eyes are closed.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you took the time to be here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Thank you.
For all of the work and the interesting challenges that you have
ahead. There's a lot ahead of us. And we've got a great team. I'm very excited about our caucus. And we've got a great team of members of Parliament, but also a great staff team. And very excited about the work we're going to have ahead of us.
I wish you the best.
Thank you.